Next stop is Lviv, the most beautiful city in Ukraine. So I'm back in Lviv, and in beautiful Lviv, another beautiful day. And I'm going to meet up with another YouTuber who a lot of the viewers will know. That's Steve Kaufmann. He's been learning Ukrainian, and he's actually hung out here in Lviv while I was away. And today we're going to meet in this very appropriate bar for Ukraine called the Drunken Cherry. So let's go and meet up with Steve. Steve.
Hey, how's it going?
Very appropriately dressed. What's up, man?
Well, you told me to.
When you started learning the language, you came here for a few weeks to get some immersion in the language.
Right.
What did you know about Ukraine? How good was your language level?
Okay, well, of course, in my case, I've spent 2 to 3 years listening because my interest in Ukraine started with the events in eastern Ukraine.
Yeah.
So I had a background of Russian, and I decided that I wanted to learn Ukrainian. And it consisted of off and on an hour a day because I was also working on Polish, on Korean, on other languages. But every day I would download some content from the internet. Of course, first of all, I had to get up to a certain level so that I could access news about Ukraine. But then I found places where there was audio and text, which I could import into link. And so every day I would read a few articles and listen to the audio and gradually build up my vocabulary, and I did this over a period of 2 to 3 years.
What particular benefit have you gotten from learning Ukrainian in particular? How has that enhanced the trip?
Okay, like I was thinking about it the other day, and you know, you talk about 3-dimension, 4-dimension, okay? So there are dimensions to travel. There's the colors, the sights, the historical monuments, right? There's the food, there's the different cultural aspects. The language is, call it the 4th dimension. If you have the language, the experience is much, much more enjoyable. You understand more things. First of all, I'm with my wife, she can't read the writing. And if you're in a place where there's a bunch of writing and you can't read it, it's less friendly. I've been to Finland, for example, I can't read Finnish. It's less comfortable. Here, I can read it. It's very comfortable. And I never feel that I might be put into a situation where I won't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's just a level of comfort. It makes it much, much richer, the experience.
I agree entirely. Before I came to Lviv to learn Ukrainian, of course in Ukraine I see the language written. That's a very pertinent point. And I'd always been a little bit apprehensive about it because I don't understand it, and then it's almost a little bit annoying because it makes me feel uncomfortable. Yeah, what does that mean? And just even learning the basics of the language just made it so much more relaxing. Now I read Ukrainian and say, okay, I probably figure it out. Of course, there's also a bit of novelty, I think, with speaking Ukrainian as a foreigner from Canadian.
The reaction is amazing. and the biggest thing, and you have no Ukrainian roots.
Yeah.
This is the thing. You learn
Especially as a Canadian. Yeah.
Canadian, and you have no Ukrainian roots. Wow.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's unique to Ukraine. You know, I mean, I was in Korea. If you speak to people in Korean, they're very appreciative. I can't think of any country where if you speak the local language, they don't appreciate it. Even in Germany, people say, well, they all speak to me in English. Yeah, but not everyone. And a lot of people really appreciate you speaking the language. One thing I wanted to add too is, you had Russian, so it's sort of easier to pick up Ukrainian. But I very much believe that you have to put that effort into learning the language to some level before you go to the country. Because if you arrive like cold turkey and hope that you're going to pick up the language, it has been my experience that doesn't work. You actually have to put a fair amount of effort. I had the experience in Vietnam. I spent some effort, put some effort into learning Vietnamese. I was there for a week. All I could ever say was thank you. Like, actually, you need to do a fair amount of work before you get to the country in order that you can take advantage of being there and then use that as an opportunity to catapult your language up to a new level. Showing
up here, I mean, it's a lot of discussion about language immersion, and I remember when I was younger, for example, my parents sent me to France to be immersed in the language. Well, I didn't speak any French when I arrived, so it was pretty difficult. It was like a huge culture shock.
Right.
I didn't understand anything. Even dealing with normal everyday situations were overwhelming. So coming prepared, just that basic amount that allows you to then enjoy the trip more and to accelerate your language learning is vital.
Absolutely.
This preparatory phase is, I think, vital for getting the most out of your travel experiences, and actually that's why I designed a free training course. like step-by-step guide that you learn the basics of the language that will help you not to avoid being lost on your trip and frustrated, stressed when you arrive, and then when you're on the trip you'll be able to then accelerate that language learning and get the most out of it. And he's wearing this very nice vyshyvanka, which is traditional Ukrainian top. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's I bought it here in a tourist shop, of course. It's a traditional, this is the male version of the shirt. The embroidered part comes down to about here because they wear a jacket. And typically they'll also have a long sleeve version, and the cuff is also embroidered. And because it's Constitution Day, I thought I would wear it. A lot of Ukrainians are wearing it today, walking around with their Ukrainian flag. But even not on a national holiday, you do see a lot of people wearing their national outfit. Yeah.
It's a beautiful day. As you can see behind you, lots of people out. It's Ukrainian Constitution Day. Then moving on to probably Kiev and Odessa. I spent a month with my friends down there.